Hello, yoga teachers. We are here today because we spoke with our account manager at Yoga Alliance, and there's more changes coming down the pipeline, more updates to some of the requirements that you need to offer a yoga teacher training. What we know for sure, though, is that we want to talk to you about the updated elevated lead trainer standards.
We're Claire and Aruna. Welcome to the Yoga Trainer Fast Track. Imagine us handing you manuals and a curriculum to use in your training. If you have a qualified lead trainer, we can also guarantee your RYS is approved by Yoga Alliance. Get on the exclusive trainer newsletter at ambassadoryoga.com.
I just want to bring your attention to what's happening over at the Yoga Alliance website. Here we've got their enhanced lead trainer requirements. You can see that you used to be able to be an E-RYT 200 or 500 to be qualified to offer a 200-hour teacher training, and that has changed. Under the elevated standards, in order to offer a 200-hour yoga teacher training, you will need to be an E-RYT 500. We can see here that the deadline for this taking effect was February 2022. That has come and gone. There's a little asterisk on that date, and it says, due to the impacts of COVID-19, these timelines are currently under review. What I want to bring to your attention is, even though it says under review, at the bottom of the page here, it continues on and says that you do need to be up-leveled to the new enhanced standards by December 31st, 2023. We've spoken to our account rep. She is adamant that as of right now, that date is not changing. So if you are not yet an E-RYT 500 and you're looking to offer yoga teacher training, there will be no extensions to this date, according to our last talk with our account manager at Yoga Alliance.
Yeah, that's big news. The deadlines were put on hold, and it is kind of like unclear even at this point, because there is a little star saying that those deadlines are under review. So I do wonder if enough people complain about it, what will happen. But our account manager was pretty clear that people need to be up leveled to E-RYT 500. So what does that mean? So here we go to E-RYT 200 means that you had completed a 200-hour training, you had 1,000 hours of teaching experience since completing your training, and you've taught for at least 2 years. And you can actually still become a trainer with the E-RYT 200 qualification. So it's interesting that some of the people are meeting their E-RYT 500 designation by teaching the 200-hour yoga teacher training.
As of the date that we are releasing this video, you can open a yoga teacher training school if you are an E-RYT 200. January 1st, 2024, you must be an E-RYT 500, and that date is not changing.
That's holding firm. So to be an E-RYT 500, you need either a 500-hour training or a 200 plus a 300. And then you need 2,000 hours of teaching experience. And for a lot of people, they already have that. But this is the rub, this one here. At least 500 of the 2,000 hours of teaching experience must be taught after completing your RYS 300 or RYS 500. And you have to have taught for at least 4 years since completing your RYS 200 or 500. People who are E-RYT 200s, they're leading the teacher training, they have to get that extra 300 hours. And then after getting that 300 hours, they have to get 500 hours of teaching experience. So even they may have 10,000 hours of teaching experience before getting their 300-hour additional training. That won't count. They have to get it after.
So here's the ridiculousness of the loophole. People who are currently an E-RYT 200 can take a 300-hour teacher training, get it done in the next few months, from the date that their certificate is signed, they have to teach 500 hours before January 1st, 2024. I know a really great way to get 500 hours of training or teaching experience that quickly. It's by leading the 200-hour training that you will no longer be qualified to teach in January unless you start teaching it now. So here's the thing. We don't want to panic anybody, but the reality is if leading a 200-hour yoga teacher training is on your trajectory, you've been thinking about it for a while, you have E-RYT 200 designation or RYT 500 designation, you really need to acquire 500 hours worth of teaching experience in the next few months before the end of the year in order to remain qualified to teach the 200-hour training. And the best way to do it is to teach a 200-hour training.
It's a faster way. And I think the reason why we're bringing this up now, we were reminded of it with our meeting with our account rep at Yoga Alliance. She's like, that deadline is not changing. This is not the kind of thing you can catch up on in a weekend. It's going to take you 300 hours if you don't have that 500-hour designation yet. So you're going to have to do 300 hours. Plus, you're going to have to teach 500 hours after completing the 300 hours. So that's 800 hours of work for you. And it needs to be done by December. And it is doable. It is doable, but if you want to be a trainer, that needs to be your focus for the next 10 months.
And the reality is you could teach a 200-hour YTT this summer. You could teach another one this fall. Combined with your drop-in classes, you could meet that 500-hour requirement and then remain qualified to teach a 200-hour. But the twist to the story here is, if you're thinking, well, maybe I won't teach the training until into the next spring or next fall of 2024, and I've got time to acquire those hours. Yes, you do, except there is a twist in the story that Yoga Alliance has not announced yet that is actually going to make it even harder to be a trainer if you don't have trainer experience by the end of the year.
That's right. Our account rep kind of told us a few things. I don't think we have enough details to really say anything, but she basically said it will be harder to be a lead trainer than just E-RYT 500. And that will be announced in the spring announcement from Yoga Alliance. So we're really watching out for that. I hope it comes in the spring, not September, their September spring.
I always wonder, I know they're based in Virginia, but which hemisphere are they working on when they say their seasonal deadlines?
Yes, but we heard the spring, and I do not be surprised if there's even more qualifications for the lead trainers beyond the E-RYT 500. So get ready for that. If you want to be a lead trainer in a 200-hour training and you don't have the 500-hour E-RYT designation, we recommend you make that a priority. If you want help getting that experience, and if you already want to position yourself as a lead trainer while you're still able to with the E-RYT 200 qualifications, we can help you do that right now. So let us know if you want to talk more about that option.
And another thing to consider is if you are still in the process of completing your 300-hour certification, knowing that you need another 500 hours before the end of the year, you really don't have time to write a manual. We have one that is approved. It's ready to go. We can put it in your hands very, very quickly. So if you're looking to lead a teacher training this summer and or this fall to acquire those hours, we have the manual ready to go. We can put it in your hands before the plot twist comes. There's stuff coming down that we know that's going to make it harder for you to be a trainer. If this is something you've been thinking about and perhaps working on for years, you don't have time to sit on the fence anymore.
It's only going to get harder. We're all waiting for the announcement in the spring to see exactly what the details are for the new lead trainer requirements. So it'd be nice to establish yourself as a lead trainer now, if that's your goal.